Good evening, folks. Welcome to the Jimmy O Show, episode 6, I believe. And because we've been a while without a player guest, the last 2 episodes were just Kelly and I covering some of the background stuff. I wanted to catch up real fast, so I have 2 player guests. We're joined today in our Stack Coaching and Roof Fitness studios by Macon Clark and Larry Brooks, the dynamic duo, the 2 safeties for the Tulane University football team. Guys, how y'all doing?
Doing good today.
Doing pretty good.
Good. Well, welcome to our little show here. I guess did Nick give you any pointers on what to expect about all these hardball questions I might ask you?
Nah.
We should be ready.
Yeah. Now Nick, one of our guests for our audience is your roommate, right?
Yes, he's my roommate.
Y'all been roommates for a while.
Yep, 2 years.
Who else is in that house?
Marvin Moody.
Okay.
Yep.
And how about you, Macon? Who's your roommates?
Lance Robinson and Keita Jones.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You had to take in a new guy, Lance, showing the ropes.
Yeah.
Very good. He is a New Orleans guy though.
Yeah, he played at De La Salle.
Yeah. Okay. So he's got the background. He didn't need too much help there.
Nah, not too much.
Look, I'm glad to have both of you guys. There's a few different things going on that I'm going to want to cover. You know, we now started the new off-season strength program. We want to kind of get into that. But just really kind of reflect some on last season and sort of the changes, the highs, the lows, and all that, and what we're looking forward to next year. But before we get to all that, we got to kind of let people know you a little bit, okay? So let's start with you, Larry. Larry, you come to us from Kennedale, Texas, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about Kennedale. Where is it? Tell us about your family.
Okay, so, So Kennedale's like outside of Fort Worth, small city, big football city. We're a smaller school, 4A school, but we're big in football. We compete in playoffs each and every year. But yeah, Coach Beard, my head coach at high schools, he got a really good record. We've actually played in our first. My senior year, we played in our first state championship ever in Kennedale history. So that was big for us. Achievement. Yeah.
We were talking a little before the show, and you hear about Friday Night Lights and Texas high school football tradition, but that state championship game had a few people there, huh?
Yes, not a few. It had a lot of people there. Actually.
Yeah, I mean, you played at Oklahoma, you played at Ohio State, you played at some of these places, but you had a crowd just about as big as that at Jerry World for that game. Huh?
Oh yes.
The bright lights were not something to you were shy from when you showed up at Tulane.
Oh no, I was ready.
Yeah, awesome. And Macon, how about you? You're from St. Rose, but what about your family? Where'd you go to high school? Things like that.
I went to Dashron High School. I'm from St. Rose, a small town, about 15 minutes away. I think I went to a powerhouse high school. We got a lot of athletes over there, and my head coach was Robichaud and Marcus Scott, and both of them was a one-of-a-kind coach. They kept me focused, and they helped me where I am today.
Yeah. Well, look, I when we were talking before, I told you I know Coach Robichaud. He was on my freshman football team. He was on the staff at St. Charles, so I got to know him a little bit. He was a cool dude. You could tell he would be a good head coach and all that, and he soon went off and did just that. But you do have a powerhouse. I want people to understand what Deshran's got going on. So my senior year, I was a pretty well recruited offensive lineman, but I only played offense my whole life up to that senior year. And they said, Jimmy, we need some help on the defensive line. So I'm excited, man. Mm-hmm. We played a 4-man front, and so I'm going to line up over these guards. I was like, man, I'm going to kill all these guards. Right. So we played Deshran and Jamboree. And Deshran's, the guard they put over me was, he was only about 185 pounds. They ran a wing T then, and he needed little quick guards. He was only about 185 pounds, and I could kill him. And I did move my way. Problem was, Rondell Mealy was the tailback in that in the wing T. So Rondell, who played about 7-8 years in the NFL.
That's my cousin.
That's your cousin?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Rondell was, I played with him in the All-Star game, got to know Rondell. Was an awesome dude, but I didn't know him at the time. He's lining up about 4 yards behind the quarterback, getting all these quick dives, X and 20 dive and all. I mean, they get the ball quickly. And the quarterback was Ed Reed. So I throw this guard, first play of the game, I throw a guard away. I'm feeling good, man, and I'm looking. They're already 5 yards down the field. Yeah. I learned very quickly I was not cut out for defensive football. I think I'm moving fast now. I had nothing on those guys. Right? But so those are two of the Destran guys. But I mean, of course, many, many others have come through. Now, Macon, growing up in the river parishes, I guess want to cover with you. St. Charles Parish had it pretty rough here with Hurricane. How'd your family make out in that?
I mean, everything was okay. We just had some roof damage. We left our cars behind and took a rental. Well, we took my mom's car and my dad's car stayed behind. His window was busted open. The trampoline blew away. The goal blew away. But inside-wise, everything was okay. Just a little, the roof was messed up a little bit. Mm-hmm. But my family was okay.
They're doing okay. Good, good. That trampoline is where you learn, kind of some of these techniques we see on the field.
You can see that.
We have a trampoline in the backyard, and every time I think about wanting to get rid of it for insurance purposes, I realize it's of everything my kids have, it's like the one physical thing they consistently want to do. Yeah, exactly. And then let's see. And so Larry. I think you have a pretty big family, right?
Yes.
All right. Where? Tell us about your family and where you fall in that mix.
So, my dad, he has 6 kids. My mom has 6 kids. So they had 2 kids together. Mm-hmm. So I kind of fall. I'm my dad's 3rd oldest, and I'm my mom's 1st oldest. Okay. So it's I'm kind of right there in the middle, but in the front on my mom's side, I'm kind of right there in the middle on my dad's side. So
yeah, my mom grew up in a family of 13. Okay. And meal times got to be a little. There was some competition there. It was like you better not be late to the table because there might not be nothing left. Yeah. But she was right there. She was sort of towards the back end of the pecking order. So, all right, guys, Tulane. Let's talk about first. You mentioned your coach Barrett, and then Macon. You mentioned Coach Brown and Coach Robichaux. Was it
Coach Scott? Yeah,
Scott. Mm-hmm. Sorry. Whether it's them or somebody else, who was sort of the big influences in your life that sort of got you? I guess really got you into football, and then helped you see that if I work hard, I got a future in this.
I can say. Maybe my sophomore year. My favorite sport was basketball, but I kind of focused up my sophomore year. I was like, me and my mom came to agreement to let basketball go and just focus on one sport, football. And as I was playing, I started as a sophomore. Coach Rowe came to me and was like, you have a very bright future. You need to focus more. You could go somewhere far. And after that, I just took it and ran with it. Mm-hmm. Every day I just started working out harder. Just thinking about what my future holds, and I just kept going. Yeah,
I mean, and that's sort of, and for the young people watching at home, like God gives you certain talents, right? And you can make of them, you can waste them, or you can make some good. But in order to fulfill those, it takes a little work.
Yeah, I gotta work.
You gotta hone those skills. And so, how about you, Larry? Was there any big inspiration in your life?
Well, my parents. I started playing football at 6. I would say me growing up, I was more of a basketball player. I played football, basketball, and I ran track. That's kind of what I did growing up. Mm-hmm. So as I got older, I played all those sports throughout high school. To high school. And then once I got to high school, I just played football and I ran track. And my freshman year, I got moved up to varsity during playoffs, and ever since then, I knew I was gonna be a varsity my sophomore year, and I knew I was a stick. So I didn't play basketball. I stayed in football off season and worked out, and I ran track, and there was no looking back after that.
Yeah. My story is similar. I played a bunch of sports, and then they said, look, man, you're 6'6", you're 270 or whatever, but you got to work out, Like, you can't play basketball, play baseball, and get the type of lifting you need to get ready for college. So pick one. So I was able to keep playing basketball, which probably did hurt the weight development. But I had to give up baseball in order to be able work out some. But so why Tulane, guys? What was it about Tulane? You both had options elsewhere. What sort of led you to decide to come to the Green Wave?
I would say for me, when I came on my official visit, I felt welcome. I felt needed here. I really like Coach Hampton, Coach Fritz, and it's hard to say no to Tulane education also. And my parents, they kind of fell in love. They felt like this was a good place for me. So I made that decision to come to Tulane.
Yeah, and I guess, we've heard here about how those guys are honest, and they told you you were needed. They demonstrated to you, and then both of you really played a lot as freshmen. You've played ever since you've shown up on campus. Both of you have gotten playing time throughout your career, right? Macon, how about you? And were you in the same class? Yeah.
Yeah, we're in the same. We came in together.
Yeah. Okay.
So what brought me to Tulane was, it's right down the street, so my family comes to the games. At a high school, I wasn't very highly recruited, but when I came on my official visit to Tulane, I felt welcome. They welcomed my family, and they have a high academic school, so I feel like I won't need that in the future if football doesn't work out. And I just felt like it was home.
Yeah. Well, and so part of your recruitment, your good size for safety, but you were playing more of a linebacker type of position in high school. Yeah.
I played outside linebacker in high school.
Yeah. Team needed you there. It's kind of like the inverse. A lot of times you see guys that play safety in high school bulk up and move down, but in your case, you actually move back to probably a more natural position.
Yeah, safety.
Yeah. But, now, I guess in your case, though, and we'll talk about it later, but the nickel role that you played last year kind of had you back into that cat, right? There was a lot of run support, a lot of setting the edge responsibilities that now you're playing deep and really kind of totally different. Even though you're both a defensive back doing both, it's completely different jobs.
It's different.
All right, so now who were and so you mentioned Coach Hamp. Was Coach Hamp responsible for your recruiting?
Yep.
Okay, and now he's your defensive coordinator.
Now he's in DC. Yep.
Yeah. How happy were you when Coach Hamp came back?
I was excited when I heard he was coming back. Man, I'm a loss of words, man. I was excited.
Yeah. Well, did he was he your primary recruiter as well, Macon, or did you have somebody else?
Coach Nagel had recruited me.
Okay. Yeah. He's good. He's good with the Louisiana guys.
Yeah.
Now, but then you played for Coach Hamp as a defensive back early in your career.
Yes,
How were you excited to get him back in the fold? Coach Hamp was here and then was gone 1 year and then came back as a defensive coordinator.
I was very excited. I didn't know what to expect because it could have been anybody. When Coach Hamp walked through the door, I was just shocked.
Yeah.
I really didn't know what to say. I just know it was back to business, back to work.
Yeah, they kind of they made it a surprise for you guys a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So it's like, all right, coach. Coach. Okay, how's you gonna meet your new defensive coordinator? Something like that. And then
Coach Hamp walked in.
Coach Hamp walked in. Oh, man,
we had
cool.
a team meeting and he announced it. He talked to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
What's speaking of Coach Hamp, let's drill down a little bit on him. Obviously we started the year rough defensively, but then we've covered on the show. The improvement was really dramatic down the stretch, and I think any of us who paid real close attention to Tulane are really excited about his ability as a defensive coordinator. You can tell, from my vantage point, that we're pretty sophisticated with what we're trying to do. We're smart. We're anticipating what the offense do. We're trying to take away, sort of what they want to do and make them, it's kind of like the old Belichick thing. Make them beat you with the left hand to the extent you can against some of these no pace. But in your eyes, what is it about Coach Hamp that makes him a exceptional coach?
Me personally, I would say just how smart he is, just about football and knowing. There's been times where he told me exactly what play they're about to run, and we go out there and we make a play because he just told us exactly what they're about to run. And they line up. It's been times where we practice this play, the same formation, they come out and they run the same exact play out the same formation. So it's kind of like he put it right there for us, and we just gotta execute it. That's really it. So he's making it easy for us.
Yeah. Well, and how confident are you when you know that the guy who's calling the shots is he's got you ready. You know that mentally you're not unprepared for the
Yeah,
game.
I definitely feel prepared going to the game.
Definitely.
Yeah. And you play with a little bit more swagger and all that because, you believe in what you're doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so how about you? Is it similar or is it something else?
Yeah, it's similar. Coach Ham is a smart coach. All he knows is football. Like, that's all he knows. Eat, sleep, football.
Yeah.
I mean, he put us in the right position to make a play. I would be on the field. The ball going here, and the ball snap. And they'll go that way he said it was going. Like, it was just crazy. And he just put us in the right position.
Yeah, Coach Hamp. Now, if you watching, okay, it was Coach Fritz, Nick, and now both of your safeties. Every time I ask them, I ask people what it is about Coach Hamp. They've all answered how smart he is with the first question. Now, I've gone for that my entire life, and I might get 1 out of 10 to tell me how smart I am. Most of the time, that's what I want them to say. No, he's a real nice guy. Well, everybody can be nice.
Yeah.
I would accept good looking, but I don't get that too often. my wife sometimes. If she's in a real good mood, So, all right. So you got Coach Ham, and then your position coaches as safeties this year would have been, I forget, you were a secondary coach and safety coach or vice versa. Who was the position coach?
Coach Ham.
Coach Hamp. Yeah.
Okay, he coached the safeties.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, okay, so looking back and sort of over the course of your career, in your case, Macon, you made a ton of plays. You ever hear there's this guy on Twitter, he goes by Club Trillion, and what it was, he was a basketball walk-on. And so he'd get in a game at the very end of the game, and he would get 1 minute, and then all zeros on the stat sheet. And so he called it a trillion because he had like 1 minute and then 12 zeros through the rest of it.
Okay.
And so that was his deal. In your case, when you were playing nickel, you were the opposite of that because, it was a little mix of forced fumbles, a few sacks, some tackles for losses, forced fumbles, recovered fumbles, interceptions. You kind of had a little bit of everything there. Playing close, what was the best part about playing that close to the line of scrimmage?
I can say the best thing about being that close is the run game. I like being in the action. I like being physical, setting the edge, stopping the run, and I like blitzing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had quite a few sacks. Yeah, you lit it up that way. And then Larry, I guess we played so. Looking back before 2021, right? We played so little too high safety. You are basically a box defender in a lot of ways, right?
Yeah.
As a strong safety.
I come down a lot. I mean, I come down a lot. I would say it's about 50-50. We kind of rotate both ways. I come down, and then I also play a lot of middle field too. So
Yeah. And has that changed? I mean, are you playing more in the sort of deep middle field stuff now in 2021, or has it been about the same?
I think we're trying to keep it more balanced. So just keep it unpredictable, and they don't know where we're going, so.
Mm-hmm. And so I guess schematically wise, while you're technically the free safety and you're technically strong safety, depending on formation, we may just flip responsibilities, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you really kind of got to play both roles. Yeah. We're not going to, if they come out trips on the other hand, we're not going to run you all the time, all the way across the field. You're going to basically become the strong safety, and you might have man on number 3 or something, and then you're deep middle or whatever.
I got to know his job. He got to know my job.
Yeah. And what's that communication like on the back end in terms of, I mean, one of the situations we've covered on the show is you playing UCF or Ole Miss, man. They're snapping it in 10, 12 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Going fast. Me and Macon, we've gotten a lot of reps together. Obviously, we came in together. We've been playing with each other since freshman year. So we can always get better at communicating, but I feel like we're pretty good. And going to this next year, I'm looking forward playing next to them and taking our communication to the next level and doing different things, doing different disguises and stuff like that. So
yeah, and so I want to kind of some of the adversity that both of you faced this year. You're kind of a little different, but I want to cover both of you. And Larry, in your case, you were banged up pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you suffering with? How did it impact you? Did you ever feel right all year, or what?
Well, once football starts, you never feel 100% once the season starts. So starting the season off kind of banged up was bad. With an ankle injury, high ankle sprain, then my hamstring, and then my MCL. So it was kind of week after week just trying to maintain and try to get me ready to go for that game. So
Yeah, and we got you out there, but we got like 80% Larry instead of
yeah.
Hopefully, while you're always a little banged up, it'd been good to be like 95.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then in the course of the season, of course, we were in Birmingham in a hotel. I mean, did you lose some of the ability to sort of the rehab like you would wanted to and things of that
Yeah,
nature?
so we didn't really have a lot of resources for me just to recover and get back to, almost 100% before the next game. So that was tough on us.
Yeah. And in Macon, in your case, you had to completely change. We mentioned it earlier, but I mean, completely change the role you were playing for us. Moving from nickel to deep safety, what was the hardest part of that adjustment?
So my freshman year, I played safety when Coach Ham was here. He left my sophomore year, and he moved back to nickel with Coach CY. And then Coach Ham came back and put me back at free safety. So, I mean, it wasn't a big transition, but it was at the same time because I didn't have the coverage at MS ground as I do as free safety. I had to cover way more. I had to learn everybody's position. I had to line everybody up, like the well, the joker. I just had to know more positions and more knowledge. At nickel, I just had to know what I was doing, really.
Yeah.
But as a safety, I had to learn the whole defense.
Yeah, I mean, in nickel now, it is a lot of responsibility. Like we say, it's almost like you're outside. I mean, a lot of times you're responsible for the edge and the run game, and depending on the call, you might have be a CGAT defender, whatever. I mean, you're in the mix as essentially a box defender. But y'all mentioned having to line everybody up. Y'all had a young guy out there with you.
Oh, yeah.
Showed out pretty good though. Huh?
Yeah, he played well.
Yeah, Jaden Kennedy. So, what is it about Jaden? What makes Jaden a special player?
He's fast. He's twitchy. He plays straight off instincts. He's just a natural football player, cover guy. He's confident, very confident.
I'm gonna cover that with you.
Very confident.
Yeah, he plays with a lot of swagger. His technique is crazy. He's gonna stay with you everywhere you go. Yeah, he's a twitchy guy. I like him.
Yeah, so I want to dig into that a little bit because I got an odd personal observation, but you see, both of you come across, y'all both so humble out here now. Macon, you don't always play that humble, okay? No, but y'all, nice guys. But my team was a lot of Louisiana guys and it was a lot of South Florida guys, okay? And those Florida guys didn't shut up ever, whether Keaton Camarati or Alfonso Roundtree, Sean King, of course. I mean, all just all the time.
Yeah.
So, they kind of brought that swagger, but we needed that because Tulane at that time, was sort of, well, we're going to do things the right way and we're going to, go fight, win, and all that. And we were just kind of stale. These guys brought some attitude to the table, but they backed it up with their play. I mean, all those guys I mentioned were all level, all conference type of performance or whatever. I mean, they talked a big game, but they backed it up, and so it's kind of nice to mix in some guys from that part of the country as well. I'm sure they talk smack about Florida football being better than Texas and being better than. Yeah, that's natural. That's what they do. They cover Florida. They think they're the best, of course. I mean, we got all the football states covered. I mean, all the South ones covered. We got obviously a lot of Louisiana, but we got a bunch of Texas guys, and Georgia, and Georgia's got good football, and then we got Florida. Do anybody from any of the Mississippi guys or Alabama try to get in the conversation, or they concede that y'all better?
They'll get in the conversation. They know it's not as big, but they'll say they got some really good athletes. They'll say the NFL compared to per capita.
They hit you with the per capita.
They hit you with the per capita. That's what they do.
That's what Macon does too.
They always try to hit Texas with the per capita. So
yeah, Macon will hit you with a per capita all the time. That's what we always talk about. I mean, Tulane, more NFL per capita than anywhere in Louisiana. So good. Well, in terms of last year, Macon, the move paid off. I think. There are some angles now. There were some angles early in the season. I hope, it got better, but it's like it was a little bit of an adjustment moving back. Yeah, these guys are pretty fast. But you got there, and then you ended up leading the team in turnovers, takeaways, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, by the end of the year, you was like you throw a errant pass out there, Macon's coming on with it. And then Larry, that was your role all up to this year. I mean, and even this year you had a few, but like, really that Armed Forces Bowl stands out in my mind. Play you made there, that Tulsa game last year. I mean, there were some games in there. I think you may have been the guy. I don't know this. I didn't check, but did you lead us in takeaways last year?
I don't know. It's either me or him. He had a couple of takeaways.
He did.
Forced fumbles, and I had some picks.
Yeah, even in 2020.
Picks also too. So.
Okay, yeah. So it's been fun to watch y'all out there, but football, of course, it doesn't last forever. I mean, everybody wants to sort of get to the next level and see how that goes, and y'all both are gonna have opportunities potentially do that. But when it's all said and done, what is it that y'all looking to do when football's over?
Me, I want to start my own business. Like me, I'm the type of person, like I really don't want to work for anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to start my own business. I've been looking to like real estate and stuff like that. Owning my own trucking company or something like that. So
yeah, cool. Mm-hmm. Different
things like that. It's so many things out there to do that you can earn a lot of money.
Sure.
So
now you're a major in health and wellness,
health and
right?
wellness, yeah.
Okay, so our producer extraordinaire is a business owner, multiple businesses in the health field. He might be a guy that can give you some advice if you were to go in that direction. At some point.
I mean, I also thought about owning a gym or something like that, like some type of facility. Some type of facility. So.
Very nice. Yeah, our producer extraordinaire off camera said offered his. Now, Macon, how about you? You're a health and wellness major as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I was thinking about being a coach or a trainer. Like Larry said, get a facility. I just want to be a mentor to the kids that's coming up, to upcoming athletes. I know I've been through a lot and just want them to stay focused and just have the right mindset going towards their dream.
What were some of the obstacles that you're willing to talk about? What are some of the obstacles you've had to overcome?
So in high school, I was kind of questioning myself about playing sports because, I mean, I was around like highly recruited people. Like in my high school, I had 4 stars.
It was like John Emery was one of the guys. Yeah.
Justin, Michael Young, everybody getting offers. And I thought I was balling in high school. I thought I was just doing enough to do what everybody else was doing. So I had my first offer going into my senior year. It was Nichols. I was very blessed and grateful for it. But I just felt like I just had more coming in. Mm-hmm. So I just kept working. I mean, it paid off. I'm at where I want to be at, a good college. I mean, coming into college, I played a little bit my freshman year, but I played enough. I think I should have played more, but I just kept working. I just stayed down until I came up. And I'm still working.
Yeah, good. You're never satisfied, right? Yeah, so you mentioned Justin Jefferson was, I didn't connect all the dots, but yeah, it's a pretty good player though.
Yeah.
I don't like to give Tigers too much credit. Sorry, family who are LSU fans, but I got to give him a lot of credit. He's a hell of a player.
He deserved it.
And then so, looking sort of to your more recent history, like your immediate history, we just started with our new strength and conditioning coach, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How's it been with Coach Hester so far? How many days into it are we?
It's about 3, right?
3 days, yeah. So it's our third day with everyone being back. I think everybody likes him. He's giving out good energy.
Seems like a pretty intense guy.
Yeah,
intense.
I think he's gonna be good for us, just because we've had a lot of injuries.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's gonna help us a lot with injury prevention and stuff like that. So I think he's gonna be good for us here. Yeah.
What are some of the things that he's directing you to in terms of injury prevention? Like what's he focusing on at this point? I mean, obviously it's only 3 days, but
well, his whole goal going into these 5 weeks before spring ball is just to bulletproof our whole body, just so we can. He wants everyone to get through spring ball healthy.
Yeah.
So just bulletproof everything. Cause you doing a lot of banging and stuff like that on our body.
Mm-hmm.
So bulletproof everything and just get through spring ball healthy, and then we, of course, get bigger, stronger, faster.
Sure.
And then, so yeah, I think that's his approach going into these 5 weeks.
Yeah, and when you look at, I mean, it's changed so much since I was there, but injury prevention, so much of it is, soft tissue injury, right? I mean, getting a proper stretch and hydration and all that. But, another thing is strength and balance, right? Like if you can squat the house, but you don't have a great deadlift or vice versa, you end up having muscle imbalances that could actually create injury issues with your ligaments and joints, right? And so, are there any sort of like lifts that are sort of different, or the training that you're doing that's sort of different, like maybe more position specific or anything like that you're seeing with them?
Yeah, we work out in position groups. D-line work out together, big skill work out together, and skill work out together. We work on a lot of ankle mobility. We have full body workouts, so bench, squat one day. We stretch a lot. Yeah, we just work on a lot of injury preventions.
Yeah, that's good. And what times it get going? What times the party start? Yeah, probably not in a mat drill type of thing yet, but so maybe the times are somewhat reasonable.
Yeah, I know offense right now is going at 7, defense going at 9.
Oh man, that's
So it's
right now.
taking it easy on you.
Yeah. So
has he previewed whether y'all gonna do like what we call mat drills, but sort of that mental toughness challenge thing where you getting up, you're there at 5 a.m. and
I'm pretty sure we'll get. This is just our 3rd day, so I'm pretty sure we'll get into it as weeks.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm ready. The it's funny though how that works. Did y'all do some of that with Coach Spear? Did y'all have like a 3-4 week segment where it's 3 days a week you're gonna get there, and it's like challenging your manhood essentially? Like the coaches are all involved, and they're gonna try to make you. They're gonna claim that they're trying to make you quit, but they're really just trying to make you tougher. Did y'all do anything like that under Coach Fritz at all? I don't know if y'all.
I remember my freshman year was tough.
Yeah, well, I think your freshman year was tough.
It was tough.
Maybe because we were just freshmen.
Yeah, it was different. Yeah,
It was different. I don't know if it was just because we were freshmen or
we had some hard days.
Yeah,
yeah, and of course, like we didn't. And so we were talking about the NCAA. Has kind of protected guys a little bit more in terms of limiting the number 2 days. But and so they may have done away with like this mat drill thing. But let me tell you something. Like, and it's interesting, different approaches. Like, so my first 2 years with Coach Stevens, I mean, it was outside. It was 5 a.m. It was the coldest part of the year, and it was 45 minutes long of just like, drills and bear crawls and all this kind of stuff. And I mean, it was tough. But when Coach Bowden came in, it was half the time. But they were so precise with what they demanded. They tried to get you to the point of exhaustion, and then it'd be like, if you didn't step on the line the right way, if you stepped over it the whole group had to go again. And I mean, it was sort of like testing your ability to focus when you're exhausted.
Yeah, very detailed.
Yeah. But my favorite story from all that is back when Coach Stevens was there. We had this guy. He was an incredible athlete from Texas. Okay. I mean, this guy comes in, offensive lineman. I mean, he can do back handsprings and all this stuff in high school. I mean, like they thought they had a gold mine of recruiting. He was extremely talented. But he really liked the New Orleans food. And so he kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so we had a point, the coach trying to get him to lose weight. And then so he said, all right, men, this is what we're going to do. Today's Friday. If so-and-so gets his weight down to this level, by next Friday, we're canceling the mat drill. So, I mean, look. All week, every guy on the team is like making sure, like his roommates are making sure he's not sneaking any snacks at night. We watching what he's eating at the dining hall, the whole thing. Yeah. We get him, he gets on the scale, makes the weigh in. Yeah. So everybody's partying. We don't have to go do the mat drill that day. Well, his roommate gets back to the room like around lunchtime, and he sees him putting on his best shirt. He's ironing, like a polo shirt. Yeah. He's putting it on. He's ironing his shorts. He's putting on his shirt, getting all dressed up. Yeah. It's like, man, why are you getting all dressed up for? He's like, oh man, I'm going to Corky's, dog.
You gonna eat?
That was all you can eat barbecue place at the time. Yeah. I think he got about at least half of it back at that lunch. All by himself, man. He wasn't messing with any of us. He was done. So, all right. So that was my teammate. Let's talk about some of y'all's teammates. All right. Who when other than Macon and Larry, when I say this guy's gonna shop Tulane next year, who's that? Who comes to mind? Who's the guy we haven't seen much of yet that's going to take a huge step up?
You talking about defensively or just the whole team?
Just whoever comes to mind, yeah.
He plays already, but I think he'll be a good factor this year, a big factor. I say Darius Hodges.
Mm-hmm.
He had the most tackles for loss last season. I think everybody need to keep eyes on him. It's gonna be a good year for him and a big year for him.
Yeah. I felt like he was slept on a little bit for how productive he was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, most guys, when you put up those tackle for loss type of numbers, you know, you're all conference and all that, he didn't get that much love.
Yeah.
Oh.
Y'all have each gotten that kind of love before, at least some team, yeah.
I got two guys.
Okay.
So, first, I'm going to say Carlos Hatcher. I'm excited for him to come back off his injury. I think he's going to come off his injury stronger, bigger, faster, stronger, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do. And then another guy I'm excited to see is Shaquem Lassiter. He's a big corner. This spring's going to be big for him. I'm excited to see what he's going to do. I feel like he's going to take a big step this spring.
Now, is that somebody that you and Nick had this conversation? Because that's what he told the audience.
He said that same?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. Now you know Nick, though. I mean, the future president of the United States. I mean, he said here, he's like, I asked him the question, he gives me about 15 guys. Let's talk about a couple of our guests. What is it about Nick? What makes Nick a special guy?
You go ahead.
He's a big leader. Like, he keeps everybody focused. He lead by example. And when you see you lagging, he's going to get on you. He gives good encouragement. Like, before the games, he gives speeches. And after his speeches, I be locked in. Like, he talk the talk.
Yeah.
And walk the walk.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's kind of like you saw the role Demario Davis played this year for the Saints. You know, Breeze left that holes field, and he became the guy that talked to the whole
That's
team.
a good example.
You know?
That's a good example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would definitely say, his leadership, the way how he gives us speeches before the game, just lock us in. Even in practice, each and every day, he's just a guy that comes to practice every day hard.
Every day.
So, yeah. It's hard to look at him and see how he's practicing and you don't practice hard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the one thing I think he does a good job bringing to the table for this team.
Well, yeah, I mean, people say lead by example, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes down to it, if a guy that you look up to, leader, is willing to do everything for the team to, leave it all out there for the team to win, then that's what inspires others, right?
Yeah.
To kind of pull in that direction. And every good team has a bunch of those guys, right? And y'all, I'm sure, like his lieutenants, right? Y'all leading by example as well, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now our other guy that we've had on, Tajay, y'all had to try to tackle him in practice.
Yeah.
How fun is it to try to tackle Tajay in the open field?
Really, we try to stay off of him.
Yeah. We try to protect him now.
We need him healthy. Yeah.
We don't try to do too much for him.
Yeah.
We need him 100%.
Now I got a little pet theory on him now because he came on our show from our Ponchatoula guy, very humble, very quiet. I got a feeling he talks a little bit on the field though. Is he a little bit of a talker, or does he actually stay humble the whole time?
He might give you a little look.
Yeah,
he might give you a little
Yeah,
look
okay.
like,
He have his time. He have his time.
He might give you a little look like,
He have his time.
Yeah. He's got a little bit of killer in him, though. He's like he ain't afraid to try to run over
He's a
defender out there.
He's a dog, and he work hard every day.
Yeah.
Come in and work hard every day, consistently.
The one that I would not want, I would have a bad time if I was one of you guys. I've never had this problem because I was never fast enough to do anything like you do, and I was never small. But like if I was like, not that y'all small, but y'all both about 200 pounds. If Cam Carroll was coming at me full head of steam, man, I mean that's a grown man floating the rock, huh?
Yeah, it's a very solid back, solid.
Yeah. Some of the guys that y'all got to cover in internal drill, y'all got a lot of tight end responsibility. Tyree James was very productive this past year, huh?
Yeah.
Tough cover. I mean, is a guy who's able to get open?
Yeah. I mean, it's a guy that we can go against and compete against each and every day. We getting each other better, so it's good going against him. Good competition.
Iron sharpen iron.
Yeah. I mean, he's the type of guy that you see, the Cincinnati's or whatever rolling out, right? Like you don't necessarily, if you get in his best, then you're not necessarily going to see anything on Saturday that you haven't seen in a week. Have you noticed that over the course of your career in terms of just sort of you say iron sharpens iron, like the talent level increasing to where, ones versus twos is not as big of a disparity. Like you got to bring it more every day in the different individual drills and team periods because just the overall talent level of the squad has risen over time.
Yeah, I would say in the last 2 years, we've gotten way more depth, just talent. So I mean, it's kind of like what's that? Last spring, that was last spring that we had the defense, the black jerseys.
Oh yeah,
that was fun. Switched up each and every day, so it's just a lot of competition in practice, which is good for us.
There's a couple guys out there from your rival. I'm excited to see Jaquan. All right, Jaquan he was another guy that had a bunch of injury issues and all that this year. Excited to see him, and then Adonis Freeland, right? Hahnville's a big rival for Dutchran. That's the main rival, right?
That's the main rival.
Yeah, I think to me Adonis is a guy who has got when you watch him play, if he can keep getting better, he's a guy that could have a chance.
And he's going to be another big factor for the defense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he's got big. Jeffrey's gone.
Yeah.
Right. We need a leader in the interior there. From a production perspective, we need somebody.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be one of them. I think he's going to step up big time.
How about Eric Hicks? Was a guy that had made a lot of noise in maybe 2020, and then last year was an injury. I don't know I don't know the reasons for things, but I mean, are we expecting him to sort of rebound looking next year?
Yeah, I think he's definitely gonna bounce back. Just they got a new D-line coach now, so
that kind of thing helps sometimes.
Yeah, he's continue to get bigger, faster, stronger. Like I've said, everybody just get better. Yeah.
How about the new coaches, the new guys on staff? Have you had a chance to spend some time with? They're not your position group, but.
Yeah.
Spend some time with the new special teams guy and defensive line coach and all those guys, or is that kind of too early? It's probably too early.
Yeah, we've all met them.
Yeah.
Had a couple, maybe say hey to them or whatever, but I haven't really had a football conversation and stuff like that with them yet.
Everybody really recruiting right now, so we can't really have no one-on-one conversations. So,
guys, when you go through a season like we went through last year, okay, I've done nothing but wish with my whole heart that Tulane was gonna, take those 3 bowls in a row and sort of take that jump. And I think y'all probably expected to see that too, right? And then we didn't. We went backwards, at least in terms of a record. I guess the first thing I want to say is that I really thank you guys for how y'all kept it together, right? Because the one thing you worry about as a fan when you see expectations not being met is that guys start playing on their own agenda, and you start noticing a lack of effort. You start seeing guys kind of looking out for number one in terms of responsibilities and trying to make a big play when that's not their role necessarily, maybe jumping in the wrong gap or whatever, trying to make a tackle when you really should take on the block. One thing I thought I saw down the stretch was we didn't have a lot of that at all. What do you attribute what do you attribute the fact that y'all were able to sort of stick together, keep playing hard through all that adversity last year?
I would say, at times there were people did jump out their gap or they weren't doing their thing responsibly. Coaches got on this, coach out, and they made a big emphasis of doing your job. Mm-hmm. That was one of the big emphasis last year, and it was just over and over: do your job, and everything will work out. And you just got to make the play then. You just got to tackle, rally to the ball, stuff like that. So that was just a big thing that they were preaching last year. So it helped us a lot. Yeah.
Last year was very tough. We didn't want those results, but going through the season, we had to stay together and just keep doing our job, stay a team, and just bring everybody in.
Yeah, and I felt like y'all accomplished that. In other words, I feel like despite the results, you could see the team stayed together. It's a special group of guys. There's actually a lot of, love in the room for one another.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for this team, everybody wants to win. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to play at the next level. Everybody wants to win. So we know we all need each other. Everybody has to do their job. We understand that. So I feel like that's the big thing in the locker room that I would say that helped us this past season.
One of the things that you're at risk of at a place like Tulane is, I felt like we experienced some of this is, y'all both talk about, the 40-year aspect of a Tulane degree. Sometimes you kind of feel like guys are, while it should weigh in your decision making, is great for our recruiting.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in the foxhole with a guy, you don't want them there because they just looking to get that degree, right?
Yeah.
Like, we need you to be a ball player and get the degree, right? The degree's part of it, but the degree can't be your primary focus, right? And that can happen sometimes. You don't have a lot of that. So, what about Coach Fritz, man? What is it about Coach Fritz that sort of that makes you guys just stay the course, play hard for him?
You talking about a guy that want to win?
Mm-hmm.
He wants to win more than anybody in the whole building, the whole program. So he's gonna give you his all each and every week. He's gonna push you, so it's easy to play for him.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Fritz is very passionate about what he does. Yeah. We're gonna focus on the little things, and Coach Fritz just love the game of football, and he will not let you slack up. Every time he would see me slack up a little bit, he'll get on me.
Yeah.
And I love him for that because he just keep me focused, and he just want to see us be the best we could be.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's easy to play for a guy, or you want to play for a guy that you know wants it as badly as you. He's not there for the check, and that he wants your best. He wants to see you succeed for your own sake, not for his own, right?
Yeah, I would say even just in life, not more than football, just in life, he just wants to see us succeed. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I interviewed him, and I can't remember if it was part that made the show, didn't make the show, but the coolest thing, the biggest sign to me is like how much he still talks to all of his former guys.
Yeah.
You know? Like when you got former players, 10 different guys reaching out to you every day, you know, that says something about you as a person and the influence you had on guys. So, all right, we're gonna kind of go to the lanyap section, okay? So, Macon, I'm expecting big things out of you because you're a River Parish guy like me. So, what's your favorite cuisine? What's the favorite thing to eat in the world?
I like pasta.
Mm-hmm.
I like crawfish pasta. Any pasta, really, seafood pasta, shrimp pasta. I'm a pasta guy.
all of them had seafood in it, right? Yeah.
Me, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I'm a pasta guy. Any type of pasta. I like po' boys.
Yeah. So, well, it's hard not to like a po' boy.
Yeah, I would say definitely I'm a pasta guy. So
Now, have y'all done? This is something my parents used to do for the team. And once a year, we would have like the offensive line over to my house. I mean, it was only 50 miles away, and they'd make a big old pot of jambalaya. Has any of the local kids had their families kind of do something like that, where you get a big, you invite a position group or whatever, and y'all have a big jambalaya or something like that? If not, y'all got to do it.
Sometimes Coach Ham cook for us.
Yeah.
And Coach AJ, yeah.
It's been hard because all the COVID stuff.
That's true. That's true.
Past couple of years.
Right.
So, but yeah, the coaches they have invited us over, and we, as a team and position group and stuff like that. So.
Now, Coach Hampton, where is he from originally?
Memphis. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, they know barbecue.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna respect you, Coach Ham, because that is a food place. But you know, I'm just partial to all my stuff. You know, jambalaya, gumbo, and all the stuff we make here. You know, and then all the recipes that my family had that had their own names that I've never seen in a restaurant. You know, there's this thing they made called tombui, which I mean, it's like basically a pasta. I mean, it was like a red sauce, but with like a roux and pork and sausage and all this stuff in it, and you eat it over rice, and then you go to sleep afterwards for about 3 hours. So that was always my favorite thing growing up. It took about 8 hours to make, you know. But all right, so what about the city of New Orleans? What is it about here that's become home to you, or you know, what do you love most about it?
I would say the food. And then Mardi Gras, just a different type of culture thing. I've never experienced. Me coming from Texas, it's just different. So I enjoyed it. It's good, great experience.
Yeah.
So.
Good.
Well, I enjoy the culture. I mean, I've been out here my whole life. Yeah. I just love everything about it.
Yeah.
The food, the culture, the Saints, everything.
We need a new coach. Huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what we gonna do?
Yeah, he broke my heart with that. He broke my heart.
I know. Well, he did such a good job of always sort of I felt like guys like to play for him, much like Fritz. You know, he when you talk about culture, I mean, the thing about Peyton, the one thing I felt okay about it, no matter how bad our salary cap thing or it was or whatever, I was like, man, he's gonna get one of these good quarterbacks to come just because they want to play with him. And now he's gone. So they may not want to do that with Dennis Allen. Yeah, as good a coach he might be, or whoever comes in, you know. What about in the community? What's some of the like if we were to be able to put together NIL deals for you, what are some like local charities or businesses, something that you'd like to be a part of or to support, where you know you can kind of speak on behalf of because you believe in their mission?
Like in the community?
Yeah, or at least like the type of thing, like with helping the homeless or helping kids or whatever, you know.
I really don't know like specific businesses, but I would like to help some kids, the homeless. I just feel like I'll be a big help to everyone. I just like helping people. That's just me. So whoever would take me and do that, I would let it do it.
Yeah. No, good. All right.
I would say helping kids. I see myself doing that. Helping the homeless, do anything really. I would like to definitely help some kids and just talk to them and try to just give them some positive energy or whatever, you know.
Yeah. But and so that's one of the partnerships that we're working on and when if it gets put in place, it will. But you know, one of the people I've reached out to is a former teammate who's helping high school kids. You know, I really like his mission because what he's doing is, you know, you always hear about the at-risk youth, and there's a lot of programs for at-risk youth to try to help them and all that. He wants to help the guys who are more like you guys, right? Like, they're not at risk. They've had to deal with a lot of adversity in their life, but they've sort of made the right choices. They're staying in school. They're trying to make good grades, but they need help. They need people to mentor them, tell them what steps you got to sort of take and get to in order to get into college and then use that college and then move on. So that's what he's doing with it. And so that'd be one of the people I'd like to maybe set you guys up with to kind of, so you'd have an opportunity to talk to these high school kids. And,
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be something y'all interested in?
Yeah, I'd love to go talk to some high school kids, motivate them. Because they're trying to, especially kids that's trying to get where I'm at right now, I feel like that'll be easy just to talk to them and
yeah, good. All right. Well, we might have a potential. We might have something for you there. We'll stay tuned for that. People can look out on their social media in a few months and might see you promoting groups like that. Okay, because that's part of what we're trying to do here. Is you guys are great representatives of Tulane University. You know, I mean, you know, your name, image, and likeness. You're able to profit from it now, and so we want you to profit. We also want to help you sort of do good things that and support causes you believe in. And people that you believe in, and make the world a better place. There's enough people out there screwing it up for us, right? So, but there's enough of us together that we work together. We can actually do some good things. So, all right. So we covered the food. Well, I guess the last thing we can cover is like, so what's sort of your favorite when you got that free weekend and you're in New Orleans? What you doing with that time? Don't tell them about going down and partying now. Nothing good happens after midnight. I heard that lesson the hard way, all right?
I would say just, I guess I see these guys enough, but hanging out with my teammates and then just probably sleeping, just resting.
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah. I got 4 kids at home, man. If you could give me a chance to get some extra sleep, I'm going to take you up on it.
My free time, sometimes I like to go home, spend time with my family, just enjoy the cooking at my home. Sleeping, PlayStation.
Now, can you call your mom and say, "Mom, I really need some crawfish pasta right now. She'll make it for you." You gotta
she'll get to it. She'll get to
it. You gotta call her baby boy. Look at that. Very nice. Well, guys, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate y'all being here on the Jimmy O Show, folks. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you joining us. Many thanks to our our physical hosts, Stat Coaching, Roof Fitness, and Bradley for providing the support here. Also, many thanks to Fear the Wave for sort of being our digital host, where you can find this show on both the YouTube channel and all the podcast streams of the Fear the Wave cast. Folks, be on the lookout for what we're doing with the FTW. That's for Fear the Wave, but FTW Collective. That's our organization where we're collecting money in order to then distribute it to Tulane athletes so that they can use their name, image, and likeness to do good things out there in the community. And we of course, are looking for community partners, people who are interested in having guys like Larry and guys like Macon promote their businesses. They're almost as good looking as I am, and so they got a good face to put on. I'm just kidding. Got way better looking. They got a good face to put on your product, but better than that, they're very good people. So let's we can get support from both ends and look forward to working with everyone. And until next time, roll wave.
Roll wave. Appreciate you.